Introduction to TCP/IP networks. TCP/IP based networks play an increasingly important role in computer networks. Perhaps one reason for their appeal is that they are based on an open specification that is not controlled by any vendor. What is TCP/IP? TCP/IP stands for Transmission Control Protocol and IP stands for Internet Protocol. The term TCP/IP is not limited just to these two protocols, however. Frequently the term TCP/IP is used to refer to a group of protocols related to the TCP and IP protocols such as User Datagram Protocol (UDP), File Transfer Protocol (FTP), Termination Emulation Protocol (Telnet), and so on. The origins of TCP/IP. In the late 1960s, DARPA in the United States noticed that there was a rapid proliferation of computers in military communications. Computers, because they can be easily programmed, provide flexibility in achieving network functions that is not available with other types of communication equipments. The computers then used in military communications were manufactured by the different vendors and were designed to interoperate with computers from that vendor only. Vendors use proprietary protocols in their communications equipments. Network cables. In the network, you will commonly find three types of cables used. These are the coaxial cable, fiber optic, and the twisted pair. Thick coaxial cable, thin coaxial cable. Thick coaxial cable is this type of cable is used yellow in color and is used what is called thicknets and has two conductors. These spokes can be used in 500 meter lengths. The cable itself is made up of solid center wire with a braided metal shield on plastic sheeting protecting the rest of the wire. Thin coaxial cable. As with the thick coaxial cable is used in thick nets, the thin version is used in the thin nets. This type of cable is also called or referred to as RG58. The cable is really just a cheaper version of the thick cable. Fiber optic cable. As we all know, fiber optics are pretty damn cool and not cheap. This cable is smaller and can carry a vast amount of information fast and over long distances. Twisted pair cables. This come in two flavors of unshielded and shielded cable. Shielded twisted pair is most common in high-speed networks. The biggest difference you will see in the UTP and STP is that the STP use metallic shield wrapping to protect the wire from interference. Something else to note about these cables is that they are defined in a number also. The bigger the number, the better the protection from the interference. Most networks should go with no less than a Cat3 or a Cat5 is most recommended. Now you know about the cables, we need to know about connectors. This is pretty important and you will most likely need the RJ45 connector. This is the cousin of the phone jack connection and looks real similar with the exception that the RJ45 is bigger. Most commonly your connectors are in two flavors and this is BNC Boynet NOR connector used in thick nets and the RJ45 used in smaller networks using UTP or STP. Unshielded twisted pair. This is the most popular form of cable in the network and the cheapest form that you can go with. The UTP has 4 pairs of wires and all inside plastic sheeting. The biggest reason that we call it twisted pair is to protect the wires from interference from themselves. Each wire is only protected with a thin plastic shell. Ethernet cabling. How to familiarize you with more than the Ethernet and its cabling, we need to look at the 10-2 is considered the thin Ethernet, thin net, and the thin wire which uses light coaxial cable to create a 10 Mbps network. The cable segments in this network cannot be over 185 meters in length. These cables connect with the BNC connector. Also as a note, these unused connections must have a terminator which will be a 50 OHM terminator.